If I roam with my mic here, I hope you can all hear me all right. They are recording the session in the back, so as we get to the question and answer period, which will be shortly, I'll try and remember to repeat all your questions so we can get everything on tape. Those of your colleagues that couldn't come this morning can get a copy of that by talking to Mike. But I'm also hoping that those of you that did spend the time, invest the time to come this morning, we can really have some debate and discussion on this after I'm through with the main body of the presentation. If your beepers go off, you have to get to a phone, you have to do those things, I understand. I address audiences all over the country. That does not throw me off target. Appreciate you all coming this morning. Managed care and managed competition has been a mystery in the mental health area for the past 20, 30 some odd years. What I intend to do this morning is really to accomplish several goals. The first of which is to really talk about what the purpose and the theory is behind managed competition. As in your practice, trying to explain to patients or trying to explain to affiliates how something works without explaining the context within which that is happening is very difficult. So I'll try and tie the two together without getting too deep in history. The second point, who are the current players? Some of the organizations the legislation is being sponsored by are perhaps very familiar to you, but there's also some new people that are, even in the New York Times this morning, if you had a chance to take a look at the article, are redefining mental health care benefits, what the task force will cover, what the task force will not cover. And as we move today, we're seeing the audit teams are coming out to really go over the entire proposal, and we see something happening here in the fall in terms of it actually being out in the public. So keep your eyes glued to the papers, but more importantly, anticipate that there's going to be a lot of questions in your practice and anticipation in your departments about managed competition and managed care and who are the players. The process of how this will work is still a mystery, and I have to say I'll give you what I know so far, which will change tomorrow. So I'll give you that caveat. So the tape is today, all right, so everyone understands that. But there is an actual process of how it all fits together, and if you understand that, then the next step of understanding minor modification should be easier. How managed competition will be regulated is a very, very big issue. Who is going to oversee what standards, what payment levels, and who's going to supervise to say you do or do not have an approved agreement under this new scenario. Finally, we're looking at issues like questions and debates. There are still a lot of debates, a lot of things that are not solved by any extent of the imagination in Washington right now. In fact, every time more legislation comes out, more questions are raised. I see that as a positive because I think they're understanding that people are just not going to genuinely accept this without some basis in fact. But I also